Hello everyone, my name is Scott Mounger and I'm going to be going over the syllabus here in this little video. Now, I think I've already got this open, so let's open it up. Alright, so first and foremost, obviously if you've made it to this video, you've logged in and checked Canvas where this is going to be posted. This is the syllabus information. There's also a nice little outline of my current information if you need me. First and foremost, let's talk about what this course is. This is computer applications. It covers all the Microsoft applications, essentially. You got Excel, PowerPoint, Access, you've got Word, Microsoft Office applications, like I said. Now it does have to be Microsoft Office. You can't use OpenOffice or some other software that has similar software. It specifically needs to be Microsoft Office. Now, let's cover what this course is going to entail. Now, first off, of course, we're going to cover all the applications, like I said. There is a certain order to it, I should point out. Probably it would be like PowerPoint. We'd move on to Excel, Access, those applications. That'll be the first half of the semester. And then the second half of the semester will be Word. The way this course is made is a little different than it has been in the past. As of this video, the final exam is set for a certification test over Word, which is why the second half of this class is over Word. So when you finish the course, you not only get a grade, you actually get a globally recognized certification for the course too that says, hey, I am proficient in this particular thing. If you do computer applications too, then you get an Excel certification as well. Now, whether that's useful to you or not, it really depends on the individual and what you're doing and where you're going. But one big issue people have when they graduate is, well, they don't have enough stuff on their resume to graduate. You end up with that chicken and the egg kind of thing where you apply and they say, well, you don't have enough experience, or you don't have enough of this. And then your complaint would be, well, how do I get experience and other things if I can't get hired anywhere? Well, this is not going to help that completely, but having little extra things on your resume will at least give you a slight advantage over people who don't have anything extra on their resume. Whether you use it or not, you get something tangible at the end of the course that you can actually put out there and use. Now, that being said, I should also mention the way the course is set. Our first half of the semester will be, of course, those applications I mentioned. We'll spend like 2 or 3 weeks on each one. One, I think, on Access. And then Excel will be the remaining 6 or 7 weeks of the course. For the most part, the end half. So basically, in a 16-week course, it would be 8 for the first set and then 8 for the entirety of Word. Which you may think, well, that's a lot of time to go over Word. Is there really that much to go over? Surprisingly, yeah. There is quite a lot of in-depth stuff that we go into Word about. Things that most people don't even know. I mean, they know you can type things, insert some pictures, but there's a whole slew of things that are built in here that are pretty useful, particularly even in your college career, writing papers and stuff. Everyone who's in college will have to write papers, well, at least several times to dozens of times, depending on your subject of study. And you may have to do more when you get even past college. Again, depending on your profession and everything. If you were doing journalism or writing, well, obviously you need to be very proficient with using Word. If you were writing a book or something even, knowing how to use all the little tools in Word really, really help. Now, I'll scroll down and let's talk about how the course is going to be laid out then. Before I do that, before I jump off topic, that certification test, it does, as of right now anyway, I'll either redo the video or send out messages stating otherwise, but as of right now, we give the test at Northwest. but the issue is it's given through a outfit called Certiport, who does the certification process. It's through their system. And their system costs money, so we have to pay for it. And it's not exactly cheap, but they kind of give us, since we have this class going, a bit of a discount. It's $15 per student. Now, normally, if you were to try to buy this online, I think it's like $100 and something. Don't quote me on it, because the price can change, but it's $15 as long as you're in this class. Now, I believe if you go to the bookstore, and that's where you can get it. I don't know if you can. I don't think you can get it near that price if you tried to find something online. But you go to the bookstore, you buy it. It's $15, and you get a little receipt. I believe if you buy, there's a copy of the book you can get, $1. If you bought both of those, $16, I believe your financial aid can pay for it. At least that's what I've been told by several students so far. So if you do this now, your financial aid can cover it. If you wait till later, you'll have to pay out of pocket, but because you have to have this. If you don't have this, then, well, you don't take the final exam. And according to Northwest policy, you don't take the final exam, you fail the class. So you have to have this. You can kind of put this into the category of, like, I have to have the book and I have to have this other material for this course. You have to have this seat. Now, what you're going to need to do a little bit later is you're going to take a picture of that receipt and you're going to submit it. There's going to be a place on Canvas for you to submit that. And what I need is just the picture of the receipt that says, hey, here's all the numbers and codes and stuff for the receipt number. Here is the Certiport whatchamado that you bought, $15 or whatever on that receipt. I just need that picture submitted. And you'll see that pretty much as soon as class starts. Now, you don't have to have it immediately as class starts, but the sooner you get it, the better. I don't want it to be the end of the semester and I have to keep messaging you saying, I need that receipt, otherwise you can't take the final. And of course, if you got it and threw it in the trash, I need that receipt to let you take the test. I have to know that you bought the... Until we get a better system, I have to put all that information into basically an Excel sheet and keep it all for every single student. So what I need you to do is upload that picture when you see that assignment. And of course, you should see it fairly immediately. Now, off the test, we'll scroll on down. The way the course is going to be laid out, there is generally, like at the beginning of each section, there's a lecture, me going over what this particular topic is all about. Here's all the stuff you can do in it, that sort of thing. Then you'll have some assignments. Now, some of those assignments will be through SimNet, which is our book publisher. They have basically an accompanying site. The first time you click on that, it will probably ask you to create an account. You just click through that, follow the directions, and then you should no longer be asked for that again. When you click on an assignment, it should load up the assignment. Now, sometimes the site does get a little wonky and has problems and such. If that happens, just kind of reload, wait a little bit, and see what you can do. But sometimes you just have to kind of wait a bit for those if it does have an issue. We didn't have too many issues the last semester we did it, but occasionally it can get a little gummed up or assignments won't post as quickly as possible. Most of these assignments in SimNet are, you do it, you upload the assignment or whatever, and it will give you the grade immediately. You'll see what that grade is. And I've set mine to allow you to resubmit, like quite a few times. So if you mess up on an assignment you turned in, it'll tell you what you messed up on. It'll tell you in directions, like a little, here's what you missed. Well, open the file up, fix those problems, and upload it again. It'll regrade it. And you can do that for a fair number of times. I usually set it to like 50 for some of the assignments, for most of them anyway. So you should be able to get all the points if you want them. The only reason you would get less is if you just didn't turn it in, or you just said, oh, well, 90% out of 100 or whatever is right. Now, you will have some other assignments that I will post, and it may have directions directly on Canvas, and it may say, hey, just open up Excel and make this sheet. Here are the directions. And then you do that. You may see, like a little quiz type, walkthrough type thing. Any of those, usually, I will have to grade. They won't be automatic. So if you do happen to see those, just be patient. End of the week, that's usually when I grade. Now, all right. The textbook is included with the course, but if you want to get a physical copy, you can get it for $1 at the bookstore. And if you buy the code too, I believe you can also combine the two, and it's $16, and it will have your financial aid pay for it. So just keep that in mind. Now, very important required equipment for the course. All students have to have a computer. If you're in my physical class, you'll have one in the lab, obviously. But preferably you need one at home as well. Now, if you're in an online class, again, you got to have a computer. You can't just be borrowing your buddy's computer whenever you need to do work or something, or going to the library. You need something you can access whenever you need to access it. Now, the types of computers that are allowed, you can have a Windows machine or a Mac. Preferably a Windows. All the directions are typically listed in Windows. Mac can have all that stuff. You can actually install all Word, Office, and everything in Mac or Windows. And it's free. You simply just have to go to your email, and I'll have a video that shows you where to go, and you should see an Office 365 button. Click on that. You can install it on any Windows or Mac computer. I think like 3 or so of them. Now, where this doesn't work is Chromebooks. You cannot use a Chromebook for this course. A Chromebook is an internet tablet. It lets you, it has some simple apps and stuff on it. You can surf the internet. It looks like a laptop, like all the others, but it's not really. Even the cost can kind of be up there too. You cannot install Microsoft Office onto it. Microsoft Office program needs to be installed on Windows or Mac, not Chromebooks, as of right now anyway. So if you have a Chromebook, you have to find some sort of alternative. You have to find, either use some other computer, if you have one at home, borrow one even. I know I said don't borrow it before, but if you don't have a choice, then you have to do what you have to do. If none of that works, you just can't find anything, you only have the Chromebook, drop the course. You can't complete the course with the Chromebook. There is a web version of Microsoft Office, and it will not work for this course. It literally is a stripped down like 30% of all the features version, and it's through the web browser. If, like, you look down and you see Chrome, and that's where you're typing your stuff, you're not in the actual application. What you're looking for is basically this little icon, or Excel, or PowerPoint, right up here in the upper corner, if you can kind of see that a little bit. Here. That's what you're looking for on your taskbar at the bottom. If you see just the web browser, then you're not in the right place. You're in the web version, which is usually accessed through your email. So just so you know that. If I go to my email, for example, and I just go in here and click at the top. This is where you would go to get your install, the full version, this first option here. All of these are the web version. Ignore them. You cannot use them for this course. So, again, if you have a Chromebook, find an alternative. If you can't find an alternative, all you have is a Chromebook, and that's all you can use, withdraw. You cannot do this course with that. Now, moving down, rating scale, 90 and up is an A, 80, 89 is a B, 70, 79 is a C, and so on and so forth. Scroll down a little further. Plagiarism and cheating, well, don't plagiarize or cheat. Now, the way our course kind of works, when you turn in your assignments, if it's through SimNet, it has a fairly rigorous check to make sure that you are turning in your own work. They give you personally a file to download. You download that file and you have to upload it. That same file. If you turn in someone else's file, it will flag both of you for cheating, and it hasn't happened last semester as of this video. But I get notified, and essentially, if you get caught cheating, it's a 0. If it happens more than once, then you're booted from the class and probably receive an F. I don't know particularly what happens after that because I've never had to go that far. So, and even in the off chance that you happen to somehow manage to get around all the plagiarism and cheating things that are in place, my watchful eye or the SimNet's automatic grading system. Let's say you manage to get around all of that and turn in somebody else's work and not have to do it yourself. You have to sit for 2 tests, the midterm exam and the final exam. The midterm exam will cover, Excel, Access PowerPoint, all the applications at the beginning, and that'll be in the middle of the semester, obviously when midterms are there. The final exam will happen at the end of the semester, obviously, and it will cover all the in-depth stuff in Word. Now, trust me, if you did not do the work in the application, you are not going to pass those tests, and those tests are a fair percentage of the final grade. Like, if you don't pass those tests, it's very unlikely you'll pass the class. So just keep that in mind. If you do this work, the tests are easy. You don't even have to think about it. It's the same thing that you're doing in the work. All the tests are application-based. So essentially you go in, and if I'm doing PowerPoint, I have to insert this picture here. Well, in the test, you'll have to insert this picture here. Make a new slide. Well, in the test, you'll have to make a new slide. You'll be doing the exact same thing. So, don't cheat. It's only going to hurt you in the end. Absence policies. Now, if you're in a physical class, obviously, this would roughly be the line you'd look at. Physical class, even if you see Monday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, Thursday, there is technically for Northwest currently an implied Friday for the physical classes during the normal semesters. Summer excluded, of course. You have to come to 2 physical classes a week, and the third is considered online. You're allowed 7 absences. Now, an absence is you physically not coming to class, or, the way I do it is that Friday, we're not having class. Well, the way I treat it is you have to turn stuff in for the week, and then I will count you here. If you turn nothing in, then you lose that last absence. Now, if you're online, we meet once a week. Technically, Monday is the meeting day. And depending on whether it is like a mini-term or even a really compressed mini-term, that determines how many absences you have. So in an online course, right there, you would get 2 absences. Now, an absence in an online course would be not turning anything in that week. Now, the way my class works, on Monday, I post all of this week's stuff. It's due Sunday at midnight. As soon as basically Sunday, midnight, and then it becomes Monday. That's when it's due. So basically Sunday, 11:59 p.m. Once it becomes Monday, 12 a.m., you're late. And at that time, I check if you've turned nothing in that week, you've got an absence. You get 2 absences. And if you get a third, or in case of physical class, an 8th, you are booted from the course. Usually I will be mailing people, or even the college will mail people if you start missing days in a course or whatever. But we'll check on you and try to keep you in check, hopefully. Try to make sure you're not, just unceremoniously kicked out of the course. Now, that third absence you get cut from the course if you're online, or 8th if you're physical. I usually try to talk to people before that happens, but if I can't get in touch with you, or you just keep missing, then you're out of the course. Now, what happens then depends on essentially when in the semester it is. If it's early, then you generally just get cut from the course. It's like you dropped. You get cut out. That's what it's called. If you are there for a good portion of the class, and then at the end you just stop doing anything or coming, then you don't get cut out of the class. You're stuck in it, especially after that last day to add drop, or last day to drop, rather, for the semester. If you don't leave by that date, essentially, you're there. Even if you stop coming, you're still in the course. You'll end up getting an F at the end of the semester if that happens. Now, so if it looks like you cannot make it your meetings, physical or online, then withdraw from the course. Try not to fail a course if you can help it. Now, I know life and various other things sometimes get in the way. And in an online class, in particular, I always have one type of person who does the worst in it. And this type of person is someone who logs in Sunday at midnight. Or not at midnight. Ugh, dang it. Alright, they log in, rather, Sunday at, 10 o'clock or something at night. And then they log in and start trying to do some work. I'll have some who are like, well, I can't finish all this in enough time, so they don't attempt it and they get an absence. I have a few people who will try to do an assignment real quick so they don't get an absence at the very last minute, and they survive, but, they spend a grand total of like 20 minutes doing an assignment, and the rest are still undone. Generally, in an online course, or even a physical, you will have a certain number of hours, amount of hours of work. Basically, you get 3 hours of class time. So in an online course, you can expect anywhere from 1 to 3 hours worth of work every week. And that all depends on how fast and how slow you make it through the material. If you have to watch a video, watch a lecture, you have to do an assignment, maybe you get stuck on something and have to look something up. I mean, it may take less, it may take longer, depending on the person. But do not just log in late Sunday night and expect to finish this course. If that's all you have time for, don't take it at all. Everyone has life. Everyone has, issues that crop up. That happens to everybody. And you get absences because sometimes that does happen. And I'm more than willing to work with some people if something does happen. But also keep in mind, I can see what you're doing and what you're looking at. Like, it actually logs every time you log into Canvas and what you look at and what you're attempting. So I'll get a message like, late Sunday night or something. Imminently, everything is due or someone's going to get an absence. And they'll tell me, oh, no, I've tried logging in a couple times and working on some assignments, but, I've been really busy. And then I check, and the first time they logged in was when they sent that message. They haven't, maybe they tried, but they didn't actually succeed in logging in. So just keep in mind, we do know what you're doing when you get into the course, at least. If you don't have the time, then don't take the course. And again, if it does look like you're physically constrained from finishing the course, there's too much stuff going on in real life, then withdraw. The class is still going to be here next semester. Don't get an F, and don't just stop participating in the course. Now, if there's any issue with like someone's attitudes or anything like that, I've never really had any major issues in my classes, whether it's physical or online. You can be kicked from the course if you start, going off on people or flipping desks or, just being really horrifically vile or something. Again, never had that happen. I've heard of some instances, but never have it happen to me. If you are in the gated department, of course, it's a disability kind of program. If you have any kind of disabilities or anything like that, I usually get mails and messages about that. If you're physical, obviously that comes with some caveats like extra study time and various other things. If it's online, depends. Like when you're taking a test, you can of course take tests with them and stuff like that. There's a couple of extra things depending on the person. But I'll get messages throughout the week, usually at the beginning of the semester, and I will usually message or fill out the information for that. Safety statement: if there is any kind of major, obviously disaster or something, that's what this is usually about. If you're physical, well, in class I will go over, earthquakes, of course, fires, and any other disaster that could hit the campus. If you're online, well, hopefully you have some sort of plan for your house if something crops up and happens. Now, quick outline here. My name, as I mentioned before, is Scott Mounger, and this is, of course, Computer Applications. We will be covering a bit of, PowerPoint, Excel, Access, I think in that order. I probably need to reorder this, but Word will be the other half of the semester. My office is at the DeSoto Center in room 220, and my extension is 6129. You can generally find me going to the Northwest website and searching for me. They have a whole directory there if you need the whole number. The email is here, though the easiest way to honestly get in touch with me is through Canvas Inbox. If you just message me, I usually message back pretty quick. The actual point totals for everything. The lab assignments are basically half the grade. The final exam is 30%. And then the other tests are 20. So you kind of see the percentages going on here. Some of the tests will just be do them at home. There will be a midterm that you do have to physically take. And a final exam, more than likely. If that changes, different than this video, I will, of course, update everybody. And, of course, there is a certification test going on. That, of course, will be at the very end of the semester. We will, of course, continue talking about that as the semester goes along. I've already kind of covered some of that material already, and we'll probably cover more as we go throughout the semester. Now, if you need to find me, I'm in room 220 at the DeSoto Center. If you need to find me any other time, I do happen to have my schedule, current schedule, usually posted in the little introduction section here, as well as this introduction video and whatnot. There may be more or less stuff here, as well as videos on how to install things and stuff like that, and of course the actual assignments. That's the rough rundown of what to expect in the course. As always, if you have any questions or comments or concerns or anything, you can feel free to message me, and I'll do what I can to answer any questions you have.